Let's dive into one of the most powerful and, honestly, clarifying chapters in the entire Bible, Leviticus 26. Now, I know when people hear Leviticus, they often think of a dry book of rules. But this chapter, this is different. It's like God is standing at a fork in the road, pointing down two very different paths and laying out exactly where each one leads. And right from the get-go, we're asked to put ourselves right there at that fork in the road. It's an ancient choice, for sure, but the consequences are timeless. So as we walk through this together, I want you to keep this question in your mind. Not just what they would choose, but what does this mean for us today? Which path are we choosing?
So where does this whole thing begin? Well, before God even mentions any promises or any warnings, he lays down the foundation. These are the non-negotiables. Think of it like the terms of the relationship, the absolute bedrock that everything else is going to be built on.
Now look at these core commands. They aren't just random rules. They cut right to the heart of what it means to have a relationship with God. No idols, that's all about exclusive worship. Who or what is really number one in our life? And keeping his Sabbaths, reverencing his sanctuary, that's about dedicated time and respect. It's how we actively show our love. And it all comes from that one massive statement, I am the Lord.
You know, everything that's about to unfold, every single blessing and every single consequence, it all hangs on one simple two-letter word, if. God places the choice squarely in our hands, if you walk in my statutes. It's a profound invitation to partner with him, to walk with him.
So, what happens if they say yes? If they choose that path of obedience? Let's explore that first. And it's so important to see these blessings not as just a reward for good behavior, but as the natural, wonderful result of living in harmony with our Creator.
And the results of walking with him are so practical, so life-giving. We're talking about rain when you need it, which means food on the table. We're talking about peace in your land, being safe from your enemies. Families are growing. The nation is flourishing. It's this beautiful picture of a people thriving under God's loving care.
But you know, for all those amazing material blessings, this is the real heart of the promise. It's not really about the grain or the peace, it's about his presence. And I will walk among you. That's the pinnacle of the entire covenant. It's about a close, personal, daily relationship with God himself. It's a taste of Eden all over again.
All right, now the chapter takes a really sobering turn. It lays out the other path, the path of disobedience. But we have to understand, these aren't random punishments from an angry God. They are the direct, logical consequences of turning your back on the very source of life and peace and provision. This really makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? Notice how the consequences are an exact reversal of the blessings. The peace he offered is replaced by the terror of wild beasts. The abundant harvests are replaced by the absolute futility of sowing seed just for your enemies to eat it. It's a perfect, tragic mirror image.
And the consequences escalate. You'll see this phrase repeated, if they still don't listen, he will discipline them 7 times more for your sins. This isn't just about piling on, it's about the increasing seriousness of their rebellion. It's a series of severe but ultimately loving wake-up calls designed to get them to turn back to him before it's too late.
Now, after reading through all those dire warnings, you might think, well, that's it? Game over. It would be so easy to lose hope. But that is not where God leaves his people. And this next part, this is the most crucial part of the whole chapter. God's ultimate desire is always restoration, because his promise, his covenant, is unbreakable.
I mean, really, this is the question that just hangs in the air, isn't it? After the sickness, the famine, the war, the exile, after walking so far down that wrong path for so long, is there any possible way back? Can that kind of broken relationship ever be mended?
And the answer from God is a resounding yes. But notice how that path back begins. It's not with them earning their way back. It doesn't start with heroic deeds. It starts with confession, with humility. It's about turning their hearts back to God. And in response to that simple turn, he says, then I will remember my covenant.
And this right here is the beautiful truth at the center of the entire Bible. God is not looking for flawless performance. He's looking for a humble and repentant heart. The way back to him isn't paved with an impossible standard of perfection. It's paved with the simple, profound act of turning around and admitting we need him.
And this is the final, powerful promise that anchors everything. Even when they are at their most unfaithful, God remains faithful. He declares that he cannot break his covenant. And the reason, it's not because of how good they are,
it's because of who He is. For I am the Lord their God. His character is the ultimate guarantee.
So this ancient chapter lays out a timeless pattern, God's design for life, the consequences of walking away from it, and His incredible, always available path to restoration. It shows us a God who is holy and just, yes, but whose mercy and faithfulness are unstoppable. And that leaves us with a pretty big question to carry with us. If His covenant promise is this unbreakable, what does that really mean for our own walk of faith today?